Now at 7, we're learning new details about the investigation into a woman now charged with hiding her dead mother's body inside a freezer.
And a former Chicago public schools building in Woodlawn is now a shelter for migrants. There's opposition and support on both sides.
Plus, more on the dangerous cold that we are dealing with this morning. Tracy has the timing for how long this will linger as we get you going on this Friday morning.
Live from Chicago's #1 news, ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Val Warner.
Mark Rivera in for Terrell on this third day of February. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're off to a great start and a lot of stuff going on today.
A lot of stuff going on today.
Including the cold.
Before we get to weather and traffic update, a little later this hour, the countdown is on to Super Bowl Sunday. So the debate, should the day after the game be an official holiday? It's a debate that's been debated for a long time. The growing movement, and it's happened in one state. We're talking about it around 7:30.
Okay, so we're talking about it. I think someone is saying we should trade in a different holiday or something. We need to just add a holiday. Okay, so that's my goal, is to add more holidays. First, let's go outside, take a live look. 1 single lone degree at O'Hare Airport, and much colder in some other places. Tracy, how are we looking today?
Yeah, not good. I mean, the sky looks beautiful. Honestly, we have a gorgeous looking around the area this morning. Lots of sunshine out there, but it is going to be a cold day all around. Wind chill advisory in effect for us until 10 a.m. this morning. Let me share the temperatures with you. And at O'Hare, we just dropped down to 0. Yep, 2 degrees right now out at Midway, 4 in Kankakee, 5 below. These are temperatures. 5 below in Woodstock and in DeKalb. And then the wind chills. It feels like it's 24 below 0 out around St. Charles Way. So you get the picture. It is just plain cold. What's the picture like on the roads, Roz?
You know, when we have temperatures like this, we always say public transportation can be a good thing, but not necessarily the case this morning. UP North, we've got up to 30-minute delays on both inbound and outbound trains and a whole bunch of cancellations because of this emergency track work. So please check before you go. You may want to think about driving. Now, on Metro Electric, these 3 inbound trains, 724, 26, and 28, all canceled because of wire problems. They do have trains accommodating passengers, 704, 6, and 8. They are making extra stops, but that will make them delayed as well. The delays on the expressways are actually not that bad. Everything's under 30 minutes. Heaviest traffic inbound on the Ike and Chopper 7s over the Kennedy-Edens Junction. We had a crash inbound at Foster that's already been cleared, so traffic is getting through without any hassles. Val and Mark.
Okay, thank you, Roz. This broke overnight, a deadly shooting in the city's Austin neighborhood. Chicago police say the victim was found in a vehicle that had hit a parked car in the 800 block of North Laverne. That happened about 2:30 this morning. The 43-year-old man inside was taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds to the head and body. He was pronounced dead. No arrests have been made.
Migrants who arrived in Chicago last year are now moving into a shuttered school on the city's south side.
There's been resistance and some protests there, and then, of course, others reaching out to help in any other way they can. Diane Pathy was following this all for us this morning. Diane.
Val and Mark, some residents in Woodlawn say they're opposed to those migrants moving in because they want the resources reserved for the migrants used in their community instead. As a bus tried to drive into the shelter yesterday, 2 men actually tried to stop it from moving in. A group of 250 migrants moved into a former school turned shelter in Woodlawn to live there indefinitely. Some Woodlawn residents have taken a strong stance against those migrants moving in. Alderman Jeanette Taylor calling on the city to provide more housing for Woodlawn residents instead of helping those migrants.
How are we helping the people in our own communities? You're supposed to take care first. We're a sanctuary city, but we got to be a sanctuary city for all.
The shelter is part of Chicago's response to the thousands that have arrived on more than 100 buses from Texas and Colorado since August. Representatives from the Little Village Community Council say they've reached out to both the mayor's office, asking them to move the migrants into their community because they feel it's safer and better suited to meet the needs of the migrants, and plan to meet with the members of the Woodlawn community to discuss more options. Val and Mark, back to you.
Okay, Diane, thank you. Right now, disturbing details about the woman who allegedly hid her mother's body in a freezer.
Prosecutors say the body may have been there for nearly 2 years. Jessica D'Onofrio has more on what we've learned in court Jessica.
Mark and Val, the medical examiner, told us their office was finally able to conduct an autopsy on the body, which had been frozen for years, but the cause and manner of death are still pending. New details were revealed in court yesterday when 70-year-old Eva Bratcher faced a judge for the first time, charged with concealing her mother's death that appears to have happened 2 years ago. Earlier this week, investigators discovered 26-year-old Regina Mahalski's body in a deep freezer stored in the garage of a 2-flat apartment building where she and Bratcher lived in Portage Park. Prosecutors say a receipt found in the house showed Bratcher purchased a freezer about 2 years ago.
A search warrant was executed on the residence, and police recovered proof of a fraudulent Illinois identification card with the mother's name and the defendant's photograph on it.
Prosecutors say police are still investigating whether Bratcher collected her mother's Social Security checks or other benefits after her mother died. Bratcher's estranged daughter, Sabrina Watson, who lives in Kentucky, called in the well-being check on her grandmother earlier this week that led to the gruesome discovery. She says she went to the ER overcome by anxiety.
She is a World War II survivor. She survived Nazi-occupied Poland. She survived an abusive marriage, but unfortunately, she did not survive my abusive mother.
Sabrina Watson says she believes her mother's motives were financial. Bratcher is being held in jail after a judge set a $20,000 bond. Back to you.
All right, Jessica, thank you. The Aurora Historical Society is opening an exhibit today in remembrance of the Henry Pratt mass shooting victims. It features 5 white crosses commemorating the lives lost in the workplace shooting. This happened nearly 4 years ago. It will be on display through February 18th at the Pierce Art and History Center. A disgruntled employee killed 5 employees and wounded 6 others in the shooting on February 15th in 2019.
Overnight, for the first time, we're hearing from China, which says it is looking into reports that a Chinese spy satellite and balloon has been flying in U.S. airspace.
That Chinese spokesperson is urging calm. That balloon is described as the size of 3 buses. All of this comes as Secretary of State Antony Blinken is due to visit China soon. ABC's Elizabeth Schultze is in Washington with a breaking news update on this. Elizabeth.
Val and Mark, well, the Pentagon says that surveillance balloons have flown over the U.S. a handful of times before, but what appears to be different is that this is lingering for longer, and it comes ahead of this high-stakes meeting with the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken headed to China.
Amid heightened tensions with China, the Pentagon is tracking a suspected Chinese spy balloon flying over the U.S. High above Montana, images show the balloon the U.S. officials say is unmanned, the size of 3 buses with a technology base suspended below it.
Once the balloon was detected, the U.S. government acted immediately to protect against the collection of sensitive information.
A senior defense official says the U.S. has been monitoring the balloon for a couple of days and that it contains limited value for collecting intelligence. The Pentagon adding the balloon is flying above commercial airspace and poses no present military or physical threat to people on the ground. But Montana is home to several nuclear missile silos.
There are intercontinental ballistic missiles, the Minuteman III, that have silos right here in the United States.
U.S. officials tell ABC News President Biden was briefed on the situation and asked for, quote, military options, later agreeing with the recommendation of military leaders and deciding against shooting down the balloon for now because of risks to civilians.
At first, I thought it was a star.
The sighting comes just days before Secretary of State Antony Blinken is set to travel to Beijing, the first visit of a U.S. Secretary of State in more than 4 years.
They want the Americans to see that they do have the capabilities to put sensitive military collection devices like these over the continental United States.
Overnight, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy calling for a meeting of top congressional leaders, calling out China's brazen disregard for U.S. sovereignty.
Now, in that statement overnight, the Chinese Foreign Ministry says it's looking into these reports and it has no intention of going into another country's airspace. Val?
All right, Elizabeth, thank you. The Biden administration and members of the Congressional Black Caucus have come to an agreement on a path forward to police reform. This coming after the recent killing of Tyree Nichols. Yesterday, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris met with a group of black lawmakers to discuss legislation Details of the agreement have not been released, but Black Caucus leaders say the focus will be on public safety.
Here at home, activist Andrew Holmes is indoors and now warming up this morning. He spent the night outside Chicago City Hall so that he can see what it's like to experience homelessness. It's something he does each winter. His goal is to bring about change to end homelessness. The U.S. Housing and Urban Development Secretary gave the city a $60 million grant to combat homelessness just yesterday. That money will support outreach programs and expand housing resources. In Chicago, the number of people who are living outside has gone up 5% in the last 3 years.
A fire that broke out at a popular wedding venue in Joliet has been ruled accidental. Investigators are still trying to determine the cause of that fire that started on the 3rd floor of this historic Haley mansion. The damage is estimated at over $1 million. And while it's contained to mostly the roof and upper level, it has several anxious couples wondering about their upcoming weddings.
It's like a terrible nightmare. It's just, totally unforeseen. You're hoping you're just a really, really bad dream.
Yeah, more like a nightmare. A cleanup has already started. In a social media post, the owners of the Haley mansion are vowing to restore the building.
Today, people in Dixmoor can pick up bottled water for free. It's being distributed at the Village Hall starting around noon. For years, Dixmoor has struggled with water issues. The state of Illinois even pledging nearly $100 million to help fix some of the village's infrastructure problems. And switching gears now, we are taking a look here. A new pop-up bar opens tonight in time for Valentine's Day. And of course, you Swifties out there, Taylor Swift fans, Bad Blood will be at Electric Garden in the West Loop. There'll be food, drinks, tarot readers, photo opportunities, and more. Tickets cost $20, and it's open through the end of this month.
Hopefully those tarot readers will tell them that there's going to be some good blood.
Yeah, exactly. Especially around Valentine's Day. You find that love.
Yeah, it's not always the happiest day for everyone.
Not everybody.
That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, your live and local news is just getting started as we stream out loud this morning. Coming up, support is building for a plan to reconstruct Northwestern University's Ryan Field. But first, Tracy has your AccuWeather forecast ahead, and it's going to be a very cold day, but Tracy is tracking some 40s in the forecast. Welcome back. More now on the bitter cold, not just here at home, but in other parts of the country as well. Here's Andrea Fujii.
This morning, millions of Americans from Montana to Maine bracing for a blast of Arctic air so frigid, some places could feel like minus 60 degrees.
It is down into the single digits and the wind is going to be howling.
Boston declaring a cold emergency. Schools are closed and warming centers are open. Wind chills there expected to plunge to 33 below zero tomorrow.
I get my coat on and then my gloves are in my bag and I have my hat and I just bundle up as much as possible.
New Hampshire's governor warning residents to take this seriously.
At negative 30 degrees, hypothermia can set in just 10 minutes, and we know it's going to be even colder than that across the entire state.
Meanwhile, in the south, warmer temperatures finally on the way after that deadly multi-day ice storm. Hundreds of thousands of power outages still reported late yesterday. Officials in Austin, Texas now saying they're not sure when power will be fully restored.
Just as quickly as the cold came into the northern tier of the country, it will leave by Sunday, with above normal temperatures expected next week. Andrea Fuji, ABC News, New York.
Right, well, Tracy standing by. Tracy, it's just cold everywhere. Look, that went from 1 to 0.
Yeah, it sure did. Yes, and that's not even a record low. I mean, it's hard to believe we have been so much colder than this before. Show you the almanac page in a second. Today, we'll make our way up to about 11 degrees for a high temperature. Right now, the temperatures that we have in the area are as much as 20 to 24 degrees colder than we were at this hour yesterday. Current wind chills feels like it's 20 below zero in Lake Geneva. 16 below zero is that wind chill right now out at O'Hare and Midway. And today, our wind chill chart does show the wind chills get less cold, if you will. I mean, even still through the afternoon, we are going to have some wind chills that are not comfortable. Wind chill advisory in effect for us until 10 a.m. Clear skies this morning. Take a peek. The average low today is 19 degrees. The record low, 19 below zero. We're not going to get to the average low, but we're not setting any records with these temperatures today. Right now, it is 0, but it is mostly sunny out at O'Hare right now. The weekend, though, look at these temperatures. Now, I will tell you, tomorrow morning, we're still going to start off the day with awfully cold temperatures, and it is also going to be pretty windy around here tomorrow morning, too. Roz?
We've had a steady stream of issues out there. Traffic volume still on the light side, but we have a crash in Elgin, Highland and Wing Park Boulevard. Broadening it out, look at the big picture. Travel times are increasing. They're running between 25 and 30 minutes, which is still not nearly as bad as we typically see for this time in the morning. We've got lighter volume out there. But I want to tell you about some construction work that could affect you over the weekend. They're going to be doing a lot of work to prepare for a stage change in the mid-tri-state in that section northbound between Cermak and St. Charles. And that starts tomorrow. And then during the weekend overnight period, they'll have some full ramp closures right around the tri-state, the 290, I-88, and that could really impede your trip. There will be signage and there will be detours posted, but yeah, just if you're going to be traveling the midsection of the tri-state this weekend, give yourself some extra time. You may very well need it. Val and Mark.
Right, thank you, Roz. As Northwestern University looks to rebuild Ryan Field, we're seeing mixed reactions in Evanston. Plans for the proposed new stadium would reduce seating capacity by about 15,000 and would cost about $800 million to build. Some business owners believe a new world-class stadium would bring new opportunity.
I'm excited about the potential impact, not just for Northwestern University, but more important for the community at large.
But there are opponents as well. Some neighbors have put up a sign against the project, and nearly 1,000 people have signed a petition opposing a new field.
A lot of the community is shocked because it has come so quickly, so fast, and a lot are asking, what's the rush here?
Northwestern still needs the Evanston City Council to approve the project before construction could begin. We'll be back in 90 seconds.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
Time now, 7:20. Welcome back. Now to some wild video caught on camera right here at home. Take a look at this. Look at this. This is video of a traffic stop when the driver of a suspected stolen vehicle suddenly takes off. Then the SUV hits an Illinois state trooper, tossing him into the air. Witnesses say the driver also hit another trooper and clipped an additional car. We are told everyone will be okay. And according to reports, law enforcement was able to catch up with the driver, and he was arrested. Unbelievable.
Just incredible. My goodness.
Wow. I'm just happy that everyone is okay.
Yeah,
there.
thankfully. Wow. Happening today, the Chicago Park District is hosting Girls' Day of Play. The initiative works to expand opportunities for girls in sports and ensure they have equal access to recreational offerings in their communities. Activities today range from boxing clinics to African dance and basketball games. Some locations will even offer swimming and archery.
While Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers is hoping to expand to Naperville, the city's parking plan has been cleared. The franchise is looking at High Grove Plaza near Route 59 as the location. An opening date has not been provided.
The Downers Grove Ice Festival starts today. This year, the sidewalks of downtown Downers Grove will feature more than 65 ice sculptures. This is video from previous festivals. There will also be games, too. Starting tomorrow, the live ice carvings will get going and much, much more. The festival runs through Sunday.
Oh, that tomorrow timeline scares me. It's supposed to warm up a little.
I know it is, but today it's cold at least.
Today is cold. All right, AMC Theaters is celebrating Black History Month with $5 movie deals. The theater chain is offering discounted tickets to one movie each week. Till tickets will be $5 starting today through February 9th. And Devotion is up next, the 10th through the 16th, followed by The Woman King. That's from the 17th to the 23rd. And to end the month, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which I still need to see.
Well, this is your chance. This is your chance. You can see it again, back in theaters again at AMC. That's good.
And you know it's streaming on Disney Plus, but I'd much rather see it in
oh my
the
gosh,
theater.
the full theatrical experience. Absolutely.
Yeah. I haven't
it's
watched
the
it
best.
at home, so you're right. This is the way to do it. All right, right now we're going to join our Good Morning America viewers. Tanya Babbage will have a news update on TV in just a bit. You'll see it here too.
And when we come back, high honors for a local teacher whose musical instruction is making Chicago proud.
Now, an update from ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning. It is 7:23. I'm Tanya Babbage. Today, community members will discuss ways to help migrants who are now staying at a shuttered school on the city's south side. The migrants arrived at the former Wadsworth Elementary School building yesterday. Some Woodlawn residents have taken a strong stance against those migrants moving in as a bus tried to drive into the shelter yesterday. Two men stood in front of it in an effort to stop it. Representatives from the Little Village Community Council say they have reached out to the mayor's office asking them to move the migrants into their community. They feel it is better suited to meet the needs of the migrants. Let's get a check of our ABC 7 AccuWeather forecast. Now here's meteorologist Tracy Butler.
Hi there, Tanya. A really cold morning out there. We have a wind chill advisory in effect until 10 o'clock this morning. Right now, as we do take a look at the temperatures, 4 below Aurora, 6 below in DeKalb, in Woodstock, 0 officially at O'Hare, 5 right now in Gary. And these wind chills this morning, really bring us down. Feels like it's colder than 20 below in some cases. Our high temperatures today, not that high at all, only around 11 degrees. We'll take a break. Roz after this.
Now's the time for a healthy start. So let's move. Let's rest and recharge. And put our health first. Let's be well. To do that, let's eat well. Breathe deep. Find joy in the little moments. And do what we love with who we love. Together, let's live well. Advocate Aurora Health.
Welcome back, everybody. It's been kind of a challenging morning for public transportation. Now we've got another CTA delay affecting Howard-bound red and purple line trains. This was because of an earlier mechanical issue at the Argyle station. Trains are running with residual delays. And just a reminder that we've had some big problems on Union Pacific North trains, both in and outbound trains. They are running up to 30 minutes behind schedule, and there have been several cancellations too because of these emergency track repairs near Rogers Park. Now on the expressways, travel times are a little bit higher, averaging about a half an hour on most inbound expressways. No big crashes up there, but we've got traffic signals malfunctioning in Barrington at US 14 and Lake Cook Road.
Taking a live look outside. Yeah, look at this beautiful sunrise, Val.
Looks pretty.
It looks pretty. It is.
The looks can beat the seeing.
Big old goose egg over at O'Hare Airport, clocking in at 0 degrees if you're headed out. Yes, it is very cold today. Something to thank and make us Chicago proud this morning. A CPS music teacher is being considered one of the top educators in the state. The Illinois State Board of Education named Ann Gray as an Illinois Teacher of the Year finalist. She's among 12 others on the list. Gray has been at Franklin Fine Arts Center in Old Town for 18 years, but now has been teaching for 22 years. She teaches ukulele, guitar, piano, choir, and advises 5 student-led rock bands. 5 student-led rock bands?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So lucky to have her.
Yes, they
as
are.
A teacher.
That is just incredible.
5 rock bands.
That's
I bet
pretty
you
cool.
they're jamming too.
Yeah, they are.
All right, coming up this morning, the state that is considering to make the day after the Super Bowl a holiday.
Huh.
It's not here, so don't get excited.
Yeah, it's not Illinois, but we'll tell you about it. Plus, Roz has a preview of the fun and exciting events around town this weekend. That's later in the hour. We are back in 90 seconds.
You're watching ABC 7 Eyewitness News at 7, streaming live now.
And welcome back. Now at 7:30, we're taking a look at the morning's top stories for you. The woman charged with hiding her dead mother's body inside a freezer is also accused of having a fake ID. We've also learned that Eva Bratcher previously served prison time for fraud. Police went to her home after Bratcher's daughter called for a well-being check on her own grandmother, Regina Mahaski. An autopsy determined McCaskey's cause of death has been delayed because of her frozen state.
Today, community members will gather to discuss ways to help migrants who are now staying at a shuttered school on the city's south side. The migrants arrived at the former Wadsworth Elementary yesterday. Some neighbors are opposed to the migrants moving in.
People in Dixmoor can pick up bottled water for free today. It's being distributed at the Village Hall starting around noon. For years, Dixmoor has struggled with water issues. The state even pledging nearly $100 million to help fix some of the village's infrastructure issues. And good morning to you. Welcome back. I'm Mark Rivera in for Terrell Brown.
And I'm Val Warner on this frosty Friday morning. We're going to go check right in with Tracy for a little bit more on that 0 degree temperature you see on your screen.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, that's 0. That is our official temperature at O'Hare right now, Mark and Val. And it's our low so far today. It's not a record, however. The record low for today is 19 below 0. Wind chill advisory, however, takes us until 10 o'clock this morning. It is 2 right now at Midway, 3 below in Waukegan, 5 right now in Gary, and 3 degrees in Joliet and Peatone. It feels like it's 19 below 0 in some cases. 20 below is the wind chill right now in Hampshire and in Lake Geneva. The day ahead keeps us under the rays of the sun. My goodness, it is going to be cold all around all day. We'll have your complete forecast coming up. But Roz, what do you have?
Well, now we've got another CTA delay. This time around, it's on the blue line for O'Hare-bound trains. They had a train with a mechanical issue at the Cumberland station, got it fixed, on the move, but with some delays. Now, the delays on the expressways are continuing to grow. We're looking at maybe 30-35 minutes as your average travel times between the tri-state and downtown. Here's our Rosemont camera showing you I-90, the Jane Addams. No problems on the tollway. Some bright sunshine. It feels good, but it feels very cold outside. And the cold weather may be contributing to some of these other problems we've been having. A lot of stalls out there. We also had traffic signals malfunctioning in Barrington at US 14 and Lake Cook Road. And southbound 14, we are seeing some significant delays approaching that intersection. Val and Mark.
All right, Roz, come on over now to today's talkers. We're going to start with the new details of the Beyoncé Renaissance Tour. 15 dates in cities in Europe, 26 dates here in North America. And due to high demand, more shows have been added, including a second show here in Chicago. The Beehive will be at Soldier Field now on July 22nd and the 23rd.
Okay, so forgive me if I haven't figured this out yet, but you have a few more hours left to register for tickets for the lottery for tickets to see Beyoncé in concert. You have to register by 11 this morning, so we're talking just a few hours away here. We've got registration details on 87chicago.com, but is that the only way you can get tickets?
Mark,
what's the deal?
I am a dinosaur. You are asking the wrong person. Now, if we can get my daughter.
Well, what about Zoe? She knows.
She knows. She's the one that sent me the link to register.
Oh, no.
So she registered and she sent me the link to register. And then I said, no, you just register for me. She was like, I don't have your code. You have to do it. So I, with my old dinosaur self, got out the computer and figured it out. And so, but let me tell you who does know. Our 6 a.m. producer, Tyra, would definitely know about how
that's
this.
true. She
and
probably
I'm
knows.
leaning on her because all the young people know how to do this Ticketmaster thing. I don't get it. Like, I don't understand.
Ticketmaster's easy. I mean, you pick your seat,
No,
whatever.
but not if it's a lottery, right?
Well, see, okay,
But I don't understand this.
the problem is I don't think I've ever gone to a concert that is so popular that you need a lottery.
I've never done that.
You know what I mean? I don't think I've ever done that. So
this is going to be a first for me.
Yeah.
If we get it. Now,
Right,
the question
exactly.
is, how much do I pay?
Oh, I can't wait to hear I can't wait to hear the final bill. I really can't.
So if you win the lottery, then you get to buy a ticket?
Yeah, the lottery is for the privilege of buying a ticket for X number of hundreds of dollars.
Really high price.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
have you ever bought a ticket for Sarah for a concert that was really high that she maybe wanted to see?
I was thinking about this. I did.
You did?
Many, many years ago when Barbara Streisand was in town.
Okay.
I took both my parents and just me and my sister, no spouses because they were too expensive. But we took my mom and dad to see Barbara Streisand. At the time, I paid $500 a ticket.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
that's pricey. Yeah.
And we had a real good view of the monitor.
The seats. But you had a great view of the monitor.
Oh man, but you know what? Every once in a while, for like it's the people that mean so much to you in your life, like
And it's the
absolutely,
experience.
totally.
It's about moments.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
What about that trip to Cancun, though?
Well, okay, so since you brought that up, so I gave her, she came to me yesterday and she said, or a day before, and she said, some girlfriends are going on spring break to Cancun. Now, she didn't ask directly. This is what she does. She kind of like answered. She was like, yeah, you know, a couple of girlfriends are going to Cancun. I go, oh. And she just leaves it there waiting for me to take it there.
Like, okay.
She goes, yeah. I said, oh, well, when are they going? How much is it? So she sent me the cost, right? $1,200, 5 days. That's including airfare.
Okay.
Not horrible.
I mean, including airfare for 5 days.
So I'm like, okay. this is it for the year. Like, don't ask me for anything else. This would be Christmas.
Right.
This would be your birthday. You have a big birthday coming up. This is it. She said, no, I don't want anything for my birthday. You're right.
Right.
Then 2 hours later, Beyonce drops this tour. So she goes,
2 hours later.
so she didn't know. Yeah, she didn't know Beyonce was going to drop the tour.
Can I take that back?
Well, guess what? She said, I would rather go see Beyonce than Cancun.
Ooh, how about that?
5 days in Cancun. 5 days.
I'm taking Cancun. If my mother's saying okay to Cancun, I'm taking Cancun. But she'd rather do Beyonce.
How often do you get to go see Beyonce? How often can you go to Cancun?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's true.
That's why we need the couch. You just gave me therapy, Rob.
Exactly.
Because I think this girl's crazy.
And you would be going with her, right? You would be going to Beyonce.
I would be
with
going
her.
Beyonce with her.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it would be a mother-daughter
Oh,
moment.
that's awesome.
And we're going to be cuffing.
I was just going to say, I can't wait to see the TikTok.
We're going to be breaking
I
my
can't wait to
soul.
see the TikTok later. You and
It
her.
will break my soul. I might make my way down to the stage.
That's perfect.
Security, there's a lady on the stage. She says she's with Channel 7 and she's getting footage. Okay, let's move on.
All right, let's get an effort now to get the day after the Super Bowl to be declared a holiday. Two Tennessee lawmakers have introduced a bill making the Monday after the big game a day off for everyone. They want to make the day after the game a holiday to replace Columbus Day on Tennessee's state calendar.
Okay.
Okay,
all right, Tracy's got some thoughts.
Rarely pipes
Tracy's
up.
got some thoughts.
Okay.
Why can't, and I know this wouldn't be good for you, Mr. Rivera.
Okay.
Why can't we move it to Saturday? Why does it have to be on a Sunday? All these children who have to go to school the next day, why can it not be on a Saturday? This frosts me to no end. I do not get it.
That's
Wild card
good
games
point.
are on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Aren't the wild card games on Saturdays?
Right.
That's a really good point. I have no idea. I really wonder what it is. Do you know?
These things like the Oscars, everything got a
Sunday
night.
night.
We can never stay up.
Yeah.
And all these poor kids that have to go to school, all these poor morning anchors who have to get up.
right, have to get up.
Get the kids. Yeah, no, you're so right.
You know
about
what?
that.
I never really thought about what day it is and what. It's totally arbitrary.
Super
I mean, it's
Bowl
like
Saturday.
you can
What's
just schedule
wrong
it.
with that?
Yes. I agree. I'd vote for it too. It's alliterative. You got it.
Exactly.
You know? It's the same thing.
You
I'm
think
down.
it's just because people are so used to watching football on Sundays?
Sunday night football
Is that what it is?
consistent, but
Yeah, but it's time for traditions to change,
yeah.
right?
All right.
Just like pass interference.
You heard it here first.
And
You heard it
holding.
here first.
Holding in football, really? You can't hold somebody, and it's the most physical sport on the planet.
I mean, you can tackle them into the ground. You can, but
Throwing
you
these
can't. But
flags
don't hold on to
around.
that jersey. All right, don't hold on to that
Don't
jersey.
hold on
No
to that
way.
jersey. Don't try to stop a play.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Well, from hangovers to migraines, there are many health nuances that get in the way of daily activities.
But exactly how far would you go to avoid these common ailments? Researchers of a new study asked people all over the country to put a price tag on their pain to pinpoint the greatest annoyances across every state. And take a look at your evidence here.
Wait, can we go back? The
wait,
graphic
let's go
went too
first. Let's
fast.
go first.
There we
Okay,
go.
the first one.
Oh, you said that, Mark.
I'm telling you what, I cheated because I looked at this story before. I looked at this
At least
story
you're
before we
honest.
got
At least you
before
told
we
us.
got on the air. Sleep. This is what people are most obsessed with. Okay, they would pay exactly to totally avoid insomnia or sleep problems. $27,000. Yeah, allergies, same thing with $13,000. COVID, to be like complete immunity from COVID, $13,000. Stomach aches and cramps.
Oh, ladies.
You know?
What about back pain?
Back pain should
Let's
be
see
on
if
the
that's
list.
on there. Let's go. Let's keep going.
Okay, number five here. What do you think, Val?
Acne and pimples. I can see that. I could see that because that affects your confidence. 11,200.
Throwing up.
I mean,
just writ large, throwing up.
Yeah, who does that often? Oh, I guess people do it off. I don't know. Okay, throwing up, 10 grand. Migraines and other intense headaches, 9 grand. And see, I would think that would be higher. Because they're so debilitating. Hangovers, $3,200.
Oh, come on.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's hilarious. That it's like
not a medical condition.
Go get you some Pedialyte and call it a day. Wait, not that I know what to
Pedialyte,
do about a hangover.
an IV.
Wait, do they have Gatorade with Pedialyte now? Not that I would know that that's a thing. No.
So I'll tell you a quick story.
It's just from my cold.
Right, your cold. This past weekend, okay, Greg Dutra, his wife, had the flu. I was going over to Walgreens across the street here from the station. I said, do you need anything? You know, I always offer if I'm going out. What do you need? And he's like, could you actually get some Pedialyte and some Tums? And I go up there to the register, Pedialyte and Tums, and I'm getting looks. I'm definitely getting looks. I'm like, oh, how was your night? I'm like, no, this is for my friend's wife. She's sick. And they're like, bleep, bleep. You want to put your Walgreens number in? Beep, beep.
Oh, you got the rewards for them.
Exactly. At least I got that.
Exactly. That is, you bring up a very good point, though, about when you have to make certain purchases and you know the person who's ringing you up is looking at you
judging so hard.
And the people behind you are like, whoa, what's all that?
Right.
Oh, that's a whole nother conversation. ABC 7 Eyewitness News continues streaming out loud. Coming up after the break, we're back in 90 seconds. All right, welcome back. In case you missed this yet, Woodstock saw his shadow. So, as legend goes, we have 6 more weeks of winter.
He looks so happy to be there. A big crowd is expected all weekend in Woodstock, of course, which is celebrating 30 years since the release of the movie Groundhog Day, which was filmed right there in Woodstock. It's the best. Very cool. Taking a look there and a live look over our city as we get you started this morning. Boy, the sun is reflecting right off the building there. It looks gorgeous out there, but it is so frigid. You see the ice on the lake starting to form as well. Let's head over to Tracy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Mark, I'm so glad you pointed that out because it's so evident how we've been seeing more and more ice chunks out there on Lake Michigan. Hey, a wind chill advisory. This stays in effect until 10 o'clock this morning. That doesn't mean all of a sudden all our wind chill problems are done. No, we're still going to have a just cold day all around here today. Temperature 3 below in Waukegan, 6 below Woodstock, 5 below DeKalb, 3 in Peatone, 5 right now in Gary. And then there are the wind chills. It feels like it's 16 below in DeKalb and Zion, Kenosha at 18 below, 16 below, as I said, at Midway, and 13 below right now in Morris. Our students go to that school bus this morning. Yeah, if you're just getting the kiddos ready now, bundle up big time, as I often say. And temperatures when they come home from school this afternoon, only around 11 degrees. So it's not going to fare much better. Tomorrow morning, we actually have another day with a pretty cold start to the day. The temperatures will be on the rise, and we'll really hit our high for the day probably tomorrow, late afternoon and evening. Very windy, too. Roz?
We are looking at some increasing travel times out there. Now it's about 35 to 40 minutes heading in, but that's still manageable. We don't have any new crashes out there on the expressways. We have a stalled CTA bus, though, on DuSable Lakeshore Drive southbound, right around Fullerton. They just cleared it off, but the backup, that remains. We've got a couple things happening in the suburbs. In Bartlett, we have a crash, Army Trail and Route 59, and we have had so many stalls this morning. Could very well be because of the cold weather. This is in Wadsworth, on Wadsworth Road and Kilbourne Road. Let's switch gears and talk about the fun stuff. Yes, it is cold, but it is Friday, finally Friday, and the weekend is here, and we're going to check on Festival Friday right now. The first thing we're going to do is take a trip back in time, big trip back in time, 65 million years. This is Dinosaur Adventure. It is back at the Stevens Convention Center in Rosemont. Today, well, tomorrow and Sunday, that's when it's going to be there. You're going to see Tyrannosaurus, Triceratops. You can interact with new baby dinosaurs, search for fossils, and go on dinosaur rides. Now, this one, just in time for Valentine's Day. It's a chocolate weekend at the Morton Arboretum. They celebrate the cacao tree. You can sample a variety of chocolates and unique items with a chocolate twist. Maybe even get a Valentine's Day gift. Today is for members. Saturday and Sunday is for everybody. Now, if there's a wedding in your future, you can take advantage of the West Loop Wedding Walk. It's Saturday from noon to 5. You'll go to all these unique venues in the West Loop. They'll have food, drinks, and other goodies from a variety of wedding vendors. Wedding planners will also be there if you need a little bit of help. And tickets include transportation between all these locations, so you don't have to worry about parking and all that nonsense. And then for Black History Month, this is super special. Make plans now to see Trial in the Delta, the murder of Emmett Till. It's at the DuSable Museum. It's a special production. Last year they just did a reading, but this year it is an interactive reenactment of the actual court proceedings from the trial, 1955 in Mississippi. They'll have actors playing witnesses, actors playing Emmett Till's family members, all interspersed among the audience. And this powerful performance runs February 9th through the 19th. So Val and Mark, everybody's got some time to get those tickets.
Absolutely, and fantastic programming, Roz. Sounds good. Thank you very much, and we'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back. The four well-known stars of 80 for Brady are having a really great time talking about their movie.
It celebrates both friendship and football. ABC's George Pinocchio has the story of this new Brady bunch.
Here's the story of 80 for Brady, about some lovely lady named Tommy Young.
Spank me right here. Spank me here, Tom. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed.
80 for Brady is inspired by the true story of four football-loving friends who happen to love football superstar Tom Brady. It also speaks to the power of aging.
In my case, it allows you to be able to say the things maybe years ago you just kind of thought about but didn't have the will or the energy or the bravery to say, and now it just comes blathering out of my mouth.
This is a spicy wings contest.
Bring the pain! I could use a little spice.
I know her! If you black out, who you want me to call?
An ambulance?
As far as I'm concerned, this is the best time of my life.
Taking this one. He's cute.
I live for the moment, and I find that life is filled with moments. I didn't know these things when I was younger.
Let's go to the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl is no place for four old women.
This could be Tom's last one. He's almost 40. That's like 80 in people years.
Yeah, we're 80 in people years. If people laugh and they root for us, and that's
sucker for
important.
a laugh.
What?
A sucker for a laugh. You were a sucker for a laugh on Grace and Frankie, too.
That's why I love you. You make me laugh.
And I laughed out loud several times watching, and I teared up watching as well.
Oh, that's so nice. That's so great. We love that. We wanted this movie to be all those things.
We face the unknown together. Isn't that what friendship is?
It's interesting because it's a movie about football and friendship, so it's very male, a lot of testosterone from that end, and then all of this great, what is our one?
Estrogen.
Estrogen.
Well, we don't have any estrogen anymore, so it's got to be something else. I don't know.
Oh, I
It's
do.
willpower.
I do too. I take my hormone
Oh,
pills.
I don't
You
take
and
mine.
I,
No,
right.
we don't do
I
that.
They're the ghosts we call the 84 Brady Bunch.
Can we do a jersey swap?
In Los Angeles, George Pinocchio for ABC News.
I love it. I'm in. I think it'd be a fun movie. And what great perspective from all of them. It's just so cool.
Yeah, and later on today on Windy City Live at 11:30, Richard Roper's going to be here, and he's actually going to be reviewing this.
Oh, fantastic.
So I'm curious to
Okay.
see what he has to say about
Me
it. We'll be
too.
right back.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
If you've noticed all of us wearing red today, that's because we're kicking off American Heart Month. It is Wear Red Day to raise awareness for cardiovascular disease. Chicago landmarks will be lit up today as well. You see there, that includes the Willis Tower, Hancock Observatory, and Navy Pier Wheel.
That's right.
We are all in red.
And we are
all
also
hanging in red.
supporting.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Speaking of today, it's also National Women Physicians Day. February 3rd was the birthday of Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell, the first woman to earn a medical degree back in 1849. Now, statistics from the Association of American Medical Colleges shows just over a third of our country's doctors are women. Today, many are calling for more to join the field, and they'll be celebrating women in the field on social media.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. That's the best.
It is.
My internist is a woman. My oncologist is a woman. Brilliant woman.
That's fantastic. That's great. Okay, cool.
And I have a cousin doctor who's a OB-GYN.
Nice. All
I was trying to
right.
think,
There
who
you
do I
go.
know that's a woman doctor? I actually know a lot of women doctors, but in the family.
Yes, that's awesome. Well, for Tracy and Roz, I'm Mark Rivera. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Val Warner. Yes, thank you for watching Eyewitness News at 7 a.m. Tanya Babbage is in the news studio. She has an update along with weather and traffic during Good Morning America. We'll hear from them in just a moment, but from everyone here at ABC 7, have a great weekend. We'll see you right here again Monday morning at 7.
This has been Eyewitness News streaming at 7. Now, an update from ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning. It is 7:56. I'm Tanya Babbage. A man is now charged in the deadly stabbing of an accomplished chef. 25-year-old Darnell Rawls faces murder and robbery charges. Police say he robbed and stabbed 41-year-old Matthew Burr last September when Burns was waiting for a train in the Loop. He later died at the hospital. We'll check on weather and traffic for you up next.
Good morning. Well, it is a cold Friday morning, going to be a cold Friday afternoon and evening, too. Wind chill advisory still in effect until 10 a.m. Right now, 0 at O'Hare, 3 in Joliet, 2 at Midway, 5 right now. That temperature in Gary. And we have wind chills this morning that are below 0, as you can see. Feels like it's 15 below in Zion, 16 below right now at O'Hare and out in DeKalb. So, cold day, the whole day. Highs today only around 11 degrees. Cold morning tomorrow, windy day tomorrow too. Roz?
Been kind of a challenging morning for commuters. We have a CTA delay on the Brown line this time around. Kimball-bound trains delayed because of an earlier mechanical issue at the Belmont station. Big picture, we're looking at 35 to 40-minute travel times. That's the average between the Tri-State and downtown. No delays on any of the tollways, but we have had a couple of issues in the suburbs. Some new crashes in Wooddale, Foster, and Central Avenues, and one more in DuPage County. This one is in Elmhurst, St. Charles Road, and Monterey Avenue. And you can see that is causing some delays, particularly on the westbound side of St. Charles.